Good, perfect. Now what I need to do is here, I need to go to the Python official website, that is www.python.org. So while going to this Python organization website, you can download Python recent version. That is ideal. It's just 27 MB file only. Not now, you can download it after finishing this class also. So if you click on this download option, you'll be having different versions. If you are using Windows, simply click on Windows. So while going to the Windows, here you can install 64-bit graphical installer. You can download this Windows installer 64-bit. Try to download this version and try to install this setup in your laptop. So for installing this thing here, you should not follow several steps. It's a very easy approach only. And try to install it. And they remember at the last step, you'll get an add path. Click on the tick box. You will get a red color. Don't afraid. Try to add the path. Why means whenever you install any external package, so whenever you add that path, directly whatever the library you are installing from an external environment from internet, that will go to that library side packages. I think you might not understood this stuff. Don't worry, I'll show you that thing in a lot of upcoming sessions. We'll see that. Okay, good, perfect. Now initially what I'll do is yes, here after downloading this platform, after installing this platform, simply go to search icon here in your computer. So here you'll be having ideally, here you can type ideally. So whenever you type ideally here, it will show you recent version of ideally which you installed in your computer. I am opening this one. I click on open option. I'm clicking on open option. So whenever you click on open option, it will be opened. Still it is loading. Actually, it will be open in a quicker fashion only. Don't worry. But for me, it is taking a little bit time. Yes, it's open for a lot of time. Sorry. Good, perfect. So whenever you open a Python ideally, it will be open like this. So here in this, we'll be having two modes of programming. One is first one is said as interactive mode programming. So here it is said as interactive mode programming or shell programming or command prompt programming. So here you can execute anything. Like whenever you give input as directly you'll get an output. It will works like a basic calculator. But the disadvantage of this platform is it is a dynamic coding kind of thing. So here we unable to go to the top and we unable to edit the things which are present above. That is the disadvantage of this platform. Okay. So here, what I need to do is I need to create a script. I don't want to work in this shell mode. I need to create a script. To create a script here, I'm going to file option. I'm clicking on Control N. Shortcut will be Control N, or else there will be having in the files will be having new file option. Whenever you click on new file option, here one script window will be open. Now what I need to do is I need to develop a function to perform basic mathematical operations. I need to develop a function which is used to perform basic mathematical operations. So first I want to perform add operation between a comma b, that is on two numbers. So after taking these two numbers here, finally I need to return output like a comma b. After that, here I want to define a function with a subtraction name. So again, I want to perform subtraction between a and b. Sorry. So I should not return a comma b here. I need to return a plus b. Similarly, here I want to perform subtraction. After performing subtraction, I need to return output like a minus b. Similarly, I need to perform multiplication. See here, I need to perform multiplication between a and b. Let's suppose I'm taking these three operations only. I need to return output like a into b. So as I already told you in yesterday's class, so module is nothing but a collection of different functions. So in this program here, I'm taking three functions. So it means it is said as a module. So here it is collection of three functions. We can say it as a module. Now what I'll do is good. Now what I'll do is simply I need to call this function. So before calling this function, I need to define values for A and B. So here I'll say A equals to int of input of, here I'll say enter A. Let's suppose I'm saying like enter A only to avoid confusion to you. Yes, I need to close it. After this, here what I'll do is I need to create one more variable. Sir, we have to practice in this model. No, you should not practice in it. It is not required to you. But here I'm explaining you like how to create a model, and so that if you'll understand like what will be the backend code present at any model. Okay. Actually, we won't create a model in a Python, that Jupyter notebook. That is an interactive mode program, right? For that, here I'm creating a file here. Okay, you should not have this file with you. Like you should not have this ideally throughout this entire course. Good, perfect. Now here I'm defining one more user-defined variable, int of input of enter B. See, yeah, we'll be having mistake in the text. Nothing will happen with these mistakes. Okay, good. Now what I need to do is I need to call these functions. So first I want to call the function with the name subtraction. So here, yeah, I'll replace this variable names so that it will be easier to you. X comma y, I'll say. Like here, I want to call first. I need to call add function. In this add function, I want to pass x comma y. Perfect. I'm calling this function. After this, I need to call one more function, that is subtract function. Subtract of, here I need to specify x comma y. So if you specify x comma y here, okay, perfect. The next print of multiplication of mul of x comma y. Mul of x comma y. After this, here what I'll do is, yes, I'm calling all these things. I want to save the script. See, whenever you write the script, we need to save the script. Whatever the script it might be, we need to save the script. So now for this script, I want to save the script on desktop. Here I'll keep with this script name like mod1. Yeah, already file is there with the name mod1. I'll keep name like PR1, that is practice one. I'm giving practice PR1 as a name. Remember this name, guys. And to execute this program, here will be having run option. So in this, we'll be having run module option. So whenever click on this run module option, this program will be executed. And here it will ask you to enter the user defined inputs. Initially, I'll enter A value as 56 and B value as 12. So here, A plus B, 56 plus 12, 68. 56 minus 12, 44. 56 into 12, 672. Here you got all the results. So it's about this model. See here in this model, what's happening? So whenever you run this model, here you're getting this one as an output. If you do same thing in an Anaconda also, you'll get same output. It is not an important as of now. So now what I'll do is I'll create one more model. Yeah, I'll create one more model. See here, control in create initial. Here will be having this control in is a shortcut. So after creating this shell, what I'll do is here simply, yeah, I need to create a few more functions. Here I want to create a function to perform power operation. So here I'll say square. Simply I'll say square. So here we need to say only one variable. After that, I need to return square of that value. Return a square. Similarly, I need to perform cube operation. So let's say def cube. See, to make you familiar with this thing only, I'm taking this example of A only. And here it needs to return a cube. Return A star star 3. Let's suppose here it is our function. Now to perform this action, we need to take one user defined input. So here I'm taking one user defined input. Enter input of enter x. So here we need to take we need to enter user defined input. So after entering x value, guys, here what I'll do is I need to we need to call these functions, right? And I want to display the result present on the function. So print of, here I'll say sqr of. You can check these programs on that ideally also, like in the Jupyter notebook also or Google Collaboratory also, it will work out. Good, perfect. Now what I do is print of, I need to call cube function also. Cube of, here I want to specify x. Sorry, here I specified run one, C I specified, X I am specifying now. Now, whenever you write a script, we need to save the script. Now I want to save this script like a PR2, that is practice 2. Now I'm running this program. So it is asking me to enter X value. I'll give 3. 3 square 9, 3 cube 27. Yes, perfect. It's giving perfect result. Now what we did is we created two functions. Here it is the first function and it is my second function. Or we can say these are modules, right? These are modules only, right? We created two modules. So after creating these two modules, what I'll do is I want to create a new program. On that new program, I want to use these two modules. See here, coming to the Python also, the major advantage of Python is it is a modular programming language. We'll be having a lot of modules. Based on your requirement, you can use that module directly. Now I'll create a new script to make you familiar with it. What is the major use of it? So here I need to choose a choice. Here I'll say int of input of enter your choice. So based on our choice, we can execute any program out of the two programs from this external program. Now what I'll do is if c equals to 1. See, remember guys, to import any module, we'll be having import keyword. So here import, what is our first program name? PR1. Whenever you enter user defined input like a 1, it needs to take us into first program. And if you won't enter input like 1, if you enter input like 2, it needs to take you into second program, that is import P2, PR2, sorry, practice 2. Good, perfect. Till here everything is okay. Now here I'll keep else. Here I need to give suggestion like a please enter 1 or 2 only. I'm keeping this one as a description. So whatever the thing you want to write in a description, you can write it. Now I'm saving it. So here I'll keep this file name as PR3. Let's suppose I'm giving name as PR3. Now I'll execute this program. It is asking us to enter our choice. So let's suppose initially I'll enter 1. See here, directly it is taking us into the first program. So here, whenever you enter user defined input like 1, see here, whenever you say import PR1, it means directly it is going to that program and it is executing that program. We are not writing that program again here, guys. So that is about module. See here, I'm entering result like 34 and here I'll give 12. 34 plus 12, 46. 34 minus 12, 22. 34 into 12, 408. Externally, without going to that program, here from the another program, we are executing that program. So coming to the modules also same thing. These are the pre-written programs. So whatever the programs, whatever the pre-written programs they are kept, whenever you download the software, with that software, you will get all those programs. With the software itself, you'll get all those programs. That all files present in a site packages case. Here also, this will be added to site packages. Sir, when these all are adding at the site packages. So whenever you add path and whenever you execute this program for the first time, it will create one cache file. It will create one cache file. That cache file contains entire information corresponding to this module. Okay. Now again, I'll execute this program. Shortcut will be F5. So here it is asking me to enter my choice. Now I'll enter my choice like 2. Yeah, here it see whenever I enter 2, see here whenever
So when we press F5, it'll directly go to ideally shell, sir.
No. To execute any program, will be having shortcut like F5. Yeah, you can keep your microphone in big mode. I'm getting this sound. Yes, perfect. Good. Thank you. Good. So now what we'll do is, yes. So here, whenever you click on F5, F5 is a shortcut to execute any program, guys. See here. Now, see, whenever you enter user defined while executing this program, if you give user defined input like 2, See here, yeah, it is asking me to enter my choice. Now I'll give my choice like 2. Whenever we give choice like 2, it's taking us into second program. If you give any user defined input, it will perform squaring and cubing operation. It's about module. It's about creating any module. So that based on your requirement, you can write any program by using function. Next time, if that function required in another program, you need not to write another program. You need not to write same program again. So by using this import keyword, you can import any program. Not only this functional program, you can import any basic program also, guys, in this way. In this way, you can import any basic program also. Just wait, I'll take. So in this notebook here, we'll see the different ways of importing module. What are the different ways of importing module? So here to import any module will be having different ways. So coming to the first way here by using import keyword. So first is we need to say import keyword. After saying import keyword, we can say module name. Import module name simply. It is a one way. And coming to the second way, so whenever you want to see, whenever you import the module with this in this way, whenever you want to use any function from the module, we need to say module name dot function name, module name dot function name. So to avoid that problem, we can import module with some alias name also. So for that, we'll be having syntax like import module name as alias name. Alias name means here you can keep your name even. Whatever the name you want to keep for that function, you can keep that name. So it's about importing two different ways. And coming to the next, here we'll be having from module name. So if you want to import specific function from the module, from module name, import function name. Let's suppose if you want only one function. Let's suppose in the PR1, if you want only add function, on that way also you can do it. From module name, import that thing. So import that specific function. You can import specific function also from a module. See here, coming to the next here, let's suppose at a time we can import multiple modules also by using simple import keyword. We can say import module 1, comma, import module 2, comma, module 3. How many modules you want to import? You can import all these modules at a time. As well, we can import multiple modules with a multiple alias names also at a time. Okay, and coming to the last way, from module import star. Whenever you want to import, whenever you want to keep some module in an open mode, here we can import module like this. From module import star. It's the way to, these all are the different ways to import any module. These all are the different ways to import any module. So now eventually we'll see few predefined modules like built-in modules, which we will get with a OS itself. Whenever we download the software, with that, whatever the modules will get, we'll see those modules. So import math. Math is a very fundamental math. See, previously for the factorial, we wrote a program, right? So here we need not to write the program. Simply in the math module, we'll be having a lot of functions. If you want to see all the functions present in a module, simply you can click on math and tab. So whenever you click on a tab button, it will suggest you all the functions. Like here at the side, you'll be getting suggestion also, like how you need to use that function, math dot adjacent cosine. So if you want to use this function, for this you'll be getting description. So here math dot adjacent cosine hyperbolic, like that, whatever the functions we are having, you can see all these functions, guys. These all are the different functions present in this module. So previously to perform square root operation, we are writing program, right? Here we need not to write the program. Even in the math module, directly we'll be having this program, that square root function. Simply if you specify 4, it will give you output like 2. And simply here we'll be having math dot factorial. So to find the factorial, previously we wrote a program, right? Here we'll be having function directly factorial. So if you say factorial of 5, it will give you a factorial of 1. See, factorial of 5, that is 120. It's a very easy thing, guys. So we can perform this operation very easily. So here, that is the advantage of module. So based on our requirement, we are calling specific function from this module. So here, whenever I want to call the function from this module, just simply I'm saying module name dot function name. And let's suppose if you don't know the syntax of this function, simply go to this function, click on shift tab. Whenever you enter a shift tab, it will give you a description like find x factorial, raise a value error if is negative or non-integral. In this, if you specify any non-negative value or non-integral value, it will give you an error. That is the thing he is specifying in the description. Let's suppose if you want to know all the functions, the thing will be module name dot. If you click on tab, you will get all the function names. Whereas if you want to know description regarding each and every function present in this module, simply after importing the module, you can say help of math. Whenever you say help of module name, it will give you all the functions present in this module. It will give you all the functions present in the module. It's about the thing. So after this, here you see here these all are the different functions present in this model. You can scroll here so that you'll get all the functions. Like these all are the different functions present in the model. And at the bottom, you'll get a constant values even. So here these are few constant values which are specified in the math module. You can see here. So here these are the constant value, exponential value, infinity value, NN value, pi value, truncation unit, that is 2 pi value. It will be having these default values in this math module, guys. Now here we imported math module. So whenever we want to access any function from this module, we are saying module name dot function. Now what I want to do is I want to import math module with alias. Import math as m. So now whenever you want to call any function from this module, we should not specify module name again. We should not use module names again and again and again. Okay, simply we can use m dot. So now m is nothing but this math only. Both are corresponding to same only. So whenever you want to use math model, we can access that model by using character m. Now I want to calculate sine 45 degrees value. Sine 45. So sine 45 will be it is 1 by under root 2, that is 0.707, right? So but it won't give that result. Why it is not giving means here it is considering this value in a degrees, but we need this value in a radians. So for that, initially we need to convert this value in the form of radians. We'll be having radians function also in a math model. Here I'm taking help of that radians function. By taking help of this radians function, initially I'm converting that value in the form of radians. After converting that value in the form of radians, here we are getting this one as a result. Here we got a result like 1 by under root 2. That is 0.707. Here we got an output like 0.707. It's about importing any module and applying different functions of those module. And if you want to get description regarding specific modules function, you can click on shift tab. Here you will get a description. In the radians, we need to specify one value, and the purpose of this thing will be convert angle x from degrees to radians. That description also we are getting. Okay, that's about the module. And the next next thing will be, we'll see one more module. Like here I want to import statistics module. Now here I'll say import statistics. I'll click on auto tab. I did not remember the spelling exactly. Okay, good, perfect. As alias, I want to import this module with alias name s. Perfect. Now here in this module, I want to call mean functions. So here I'm calling mean function from it. So whenever you call this mean function, I want to calculate average of 1, 2, 3. Let's suppose I'm calculating average of these values. So it will give you average of these 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6 by 3, 2. Okay, done. Perfect. It's working. Now I want to calculate mean and mode of something. Someone is fingering in chart. So set total, how many predefined modules are there? So coming to Python, we'll be having million plus predefined modules. We'll be having million plus predefined modules, but we should not go through each and every module. Every day, the Python organization guys will update at least 20 to 30 modules regularly. Okay. Those other modules are not required to us as of now, or as corresponding to any Python developer. No developer knows at least 20% of the modules. You need to understand like how many modules will be having. Okay, we'll be having huge amount of modules, but initially you need to understand what is the module required to us, and how to use that module. If you are familiar with that, you can play with the Python. Okay. See, coming to the advanced Python, we'll be having modules. See, my specialization is data science. I am familiar with the modules which are corresponding to data science. If you go to the one person who is belongs to the networking, if you ask him whatever the modules required for networking, he'll explain you those modules. If you go to the web developer, if you ask him, he'll suggest you a few different modules. Like that, based on the technology, we'll be having different modules, guys. Okay. Now what I'll do is good. Now what I'll do is from the statistic module, I want to import this mean function only. So here for that, simply what we'll do is from statistics module, from this module, I want to import mean function. Import mean. So see, in this we'll be having a lot of function. So now onwards, whenever you want to use this mean function, simply you can say mean of. We should not specify the statistics dot something. Why means directly we imported this function. So if you say mean of 1, 2, 3, sorry, we need to specify this thing in a data structure. 1, 2, 3. It will give you a mean of all these values. It will give you a mean of all these values. Now let's suppose I want to take mean mode also, like median also, like a mid value. Yeah. See here, I want to take mean as some alias name, like M, and I want to take median as M2. I'm taking these two functions with alias name. Now, even if you want to take this mean function, simply we can say M of, the M of is nothing but we are calculating mean only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Let's suppose I specified these values. Now it will give you a mean of all these values. It is the mean of all these values. Now I need to calculate median. Median, whenever you want to calculate median, we stored median in a variable M2. So simply we can say M2. So whenever you want to calculate median, simply we need to say M2 of this. So whenever you calculate median, it will give you a mid value. So here coming to mid value here in this case, will be get 4.5, sorry, 4 plus 5. These two are the mid values. If you take average of this thing, you will get a 4.5. It's about median in this case. Okay. Now what I'll do is, see here, I want to keep one module in an open mode directly. I want to keep one module in an open mode directly. To keep some module in an open mode directly, simply we can say from, see, let's suppose I want to keep math module in an open mode. From math, import star. So whenever you import module in this way, we need not to call module name dot function name. See, simply we can call whatever the function you want, you can call that function directly. Let's suppose I want to calculate sine value. So whenever you want to calculate sine value, initially we need to convert that value in the form of radians. So simply I'm saying radians of 45. So it will be converted in the form of radians first. After that, it will be converted in the form of sine. It's about now, see, simply I'll apply ceil function. It is an important function corresponding to ceil function. So what will be the value corresponding to 4.3? It's giving 5. Whereas here we'll be having floor function. Floor. What will be the output of 4.3? It will give you 4 only. So these two are the functions. Now try to know the difference between floor and ceil function. So coming to the floor function, the purpose of floor function is, so it's about, it is used to take the integer portion of the quotient only. Let's suppose coming to the ceil function, if you specify 4.6, here you'll get a 5. But whereas if you specify here 4.6, you'll get 4 only. So suppose if you specify 4.9 also, it will give you 4 only. But this 4.9, which is closer to 5, here we need to get output like 4, so 5. But it won't rounded up the value. It will give the integer portion of the quotient only. So integer portion of the value only. Whereas here, it will give you a rounded off value. To take a rounded off value, we'll use ceil function. And apart from that, we'll be having very important module called as random module. It's a very, very important module coming to this entire Python. So to perform statistical analysis, to consider random data, will be use this random module very widely. Import random as R. Now in this random module, we'll be having a lot of functions, guys. So here will be having lot of functions. Out of all, these are the few. See, these all are the functions like bivariate distribution, BPF, that choice function, choices function, exponential variate function, gamma variate function, Gaussian distribution function. Like whatever the probability functions will be having, all those things will be present in it mostly. Now in this, what I'll do is I'll use choice function. So you might be familiar with the dice games, right? You might be familiar with the online dice game, like Ludo game. On that, what we need to do? Every time we need to generate a random number, right? We need to generate a random number. So whenever you want to generate a random number, we need to take help of this random choice function. So this choice function plays a very important role. See, coming to the Ludo game, it is developed on this choice function only. So here what I'll do is I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm running this code. You'll see it is giving 6. So in a Ludo game, what happens? Whenever you click on the die, it will generate one number. So it is giving 6. After that, again, I'm running this portion. It will give you a different number. Again, if I run this portion, again it needs to generate a different number in the range of 1 to 6. So in this way, it will generate a random numbers in a specified range, guys. To generate a random numbers in a specified range, we need to take help of this random module. After that, here I'll say, yeah, here I want to take help of random function. I want to know about a random function which is present in random module. The random function purpose also same thing, to generate a random number in a specific range. So here, if you don't know about any function, simply you can enter like this modulim.function name. If you enter that thing, you'll get a description as well as syntax. So random is it is present in a random module. The purpose of see here, you need to specify parameters like that. You need to specify two attributes in this random function. In this, here return a random integer in a range of a comma b. Here we need to specify two elements. Let's suppose I want to generate random integer in the range of 1 to 6. I'm running this portion. So whenever you run this portion, it is giving number 4, means in the range of 1 to 6, it is generating random. Again, if you run this, it will generate in another random number. Like that, how many times you execute this portion, that many times it will generate random number. You can use this random function also in a backend of dice game. Now what I'll do is at the end of this day, today I'll explain you one program. In this program, what I need to do is I need to develop a random guessing game. Here I want to develop a random guessing game. In this random guessing game, what I need to do is I need to develop a game. On that game, what I need to do is initially I want to generate a random number in the range of 1 to 10. I need to generate a random number in the range of 1 to 10, and I need to guess that randomly generated number. To guess that randomly generated number, I need to get 5 choices. I need to get 5 choices. In these 5 choices, here, if you won the game, if you guess the number for the first iteration, it needs to give output like you won the game. If you won't guess the number perfectly, what it needs to do is it needs to give you have 4 more options, try again. And again, if you guess the number in a second iteration, it needs to give output like you won the game. Again, if you won't guess the number perfectly, it needs to give 3 more options left, try again. Like that, it needs to give options till 5 options finish it needs to give option. After that, finally it needs to give output like, if you won't guess the numbers in a 5 choices, it needs to give output like you lost the game, and randomly generated number is whatever the number generated there, it needs to give that thing in an output. So initially what I need to do is, as we already imported random module, though I'll import here, import random as r. I'm importing random module. After that, here what I'll do is I need to generate a random number, and I need to store that randomly generated number in one variable. So here I'm saying rand int of 1 comma 10. I need to generate a random number in the range of 1 to 10, and I need to store that thing in a variable a. Now to guess a randomly generated number, here I'm taking one for loop, guys. For I in range of, here I'll take yeah, I need to get a 5 choices, right? Here I'll say range of 5, means here we'll get a 5 choices. So here, after getting these 5 choices, what I need to do is initially for the first time, we need to enter user defined input. So that is int of input of enter whatever, enter a guessed number, enter guessed number. whatever the number you're guessing, you need to enter that number here. If whatever the number you are guessing, that is equals to A. If this condition is satisfied here, if this condition is satisfied, what I need to do is, if this condition is satisfied, we need to print output like you won the game. You won the game. After that, elif here, what we need to do is, someone is pinging in chat again. Sir, range spelling is wrongly typed. We'll resolve it. Nothing will happen. While running this program, I'll get to know it, right? So we'll save more time on that. Okay, good. So here, whenever we won the game, what we need to do is, whenever we won the game, we need to break this loop. It should not execute, it should not iterate through this loop, right? So for that, here I need to terminate this loop. After that, I need to check one more condition, that is elif whether here are choices present in the range of 4 minus I greater than 0 or not. If this condition is satisfied, next here what I need to do is print you have how many choices? You have comma 4 minus I choices. Try again. Here it needs to display this thing. Else, finally, in all iterations, if we won't guess the number perfectly, it needs to give an output like, oh, great. You lost the game. Better luck next time. It needs to give output like, and here it needs to display randomly generated number. And randomly generated number is, here it needs to display randomly generated number. In this case, we are storing that thing in here, right? Yeah, good. I'm running this program. While running this program, it is asking me to randomly guessing number. So initially I'm guessing number like 9. So here 9 is a wrong guess. You have 4 choices, try again. Now I'm guessing 8. Yes, 8 is a randomly generated number. It's giving output like you won the game. So in the second iteration itself, I guessed the randomly generated number perfectly. That's why it is giving output like you won the game. Okay. So now again, I'll run this program again. Again, it is asking me to guess a randomly generated number. Now I am giving 8. So no, it's wrong. I'm giving 7. No, it's wrong. I'm giving 1. Again, it is wrong. I'm giving 2. Again, it is wrong. I'm giving 5. Yes, in the last iteration, I won the game. So the randomly generated number is 5. I won the game. So coming to you, you might won the game or you might lose the game. It depends. It depends on your guess. Not even on your guess. It depends on randomly generated number. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. And I'll forward you one document which is corresponding to most of the modules. On that, you'll be having a lot of predefined modules. If you have time, go through all those functions at least and try to understand their functionalities. And if you have enough time, try to practice those modules. That could be very helpful to you and your career. Okay. Thank you. With this, I'm concluding for today.